I'm going to be your hostess with the mostess for this evening. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic evening. Don't heckle me, I'm going to try with the language, right? But I was born and raised here, so I might get a few things wrong. Bear with me. Just to get the formalities out of the way, if anyone needs to use the toilets, they're here on my right, and if we do have the fire alarm go off, all we need to do is, in an orderly fashion, proceed out through these doors and into the main car park. Now, you've been sat down very good, right? Future of Ghana publication. Okay, it's also a networking event, which is why we've kind of had you sitting down, talking to each other. No water, no achomo, it's fine, we've got you, okay? We've got you networking because this is a very special networking occasion. Now, the publication is to celebrate and debut the top 30 under 30. Do you know what that means? It means that I'm too old to get in there, but it's fine. It means those 30-year-olds and under 30s who are doing fantastic things in their industries, in their areas of specialism, pioneering, leading the way for young Ghanaians, not just here, but Ghanaians across the world. So some of the nominees aren't actually in this room, but it's all good because we've got internet now, and we've got nice British Airways that takes us for a lot of money, and we can connect, it's all good. Okay, so we're going to be celebrating the top under 30 in this publication, and we're also celebrating young Ghanaians. There are loads of us. Can I just ask you, those good-looking under 35s, you look kind of young. Were you born here?
Yeah. Yes, I was.
You were born here, and are you under or over 35?
I'm under 35.
Under 35. And when did you first go to Ghana? How old were you?
22.
Yay, late. It's fine, it's fine. Anyone else? Born here, you're Bee Gees, and so I like to call them British Ghanaians. Oh, we've got hires, we don't see nothing. My 5-year-old sister gets out of the car. Yay! It's dirty! It's dusty, carry me! She saw a chicken jump over the gutter. No, I can't eat chicken anymore. Mum was like, we're in Ghana, this is Africa. She said, no. I can't deal with it. I need to go back home to England. Several years later, she's the first to say, when we go into Ghana, man? I'm like, do you remember the chicken jumping in the car? Yes, antibodies. It's good. It's fantastic. We're all celebrating being British Ghanaians. Now, a question I get asked all the time, okay? I go somewhere, I'm saying, I'm from Ghana. They're like, oh, okay, you speak Tree. I'm like, anyone experience that? all of you Tree speakers are like, yeah, we doing it big out there. I'm like, oh, Darby, you're gone, fuel. So today, we're gonna do a little bit of, learning of other languages, okay? So I'm gonna say Akwaba, that's as far as my Tree goes. I'm gonna say, where's Olo? Any errors in the house? Few and far between, but it's fine. And then my dad told me just today, he's like, say Nyaba. Apparently that means welcome in Ghana. I'm not seeing many nods. I told you I'm trying. I am trying. Right, so there's several Ghanaians in the room. Thank you all for coming. As I said, you look amazing. But can I ask you, the young Ghanaians, just to put your hands up. Let me see how many are under 35 in this room. Hands up. Quick question, yeah? Where were you when I was in school? Huh? Seriously, where were you? I'd say, hi, my name's Claire, and I'm from Ghana. They'd be like, oh, Guyana, that's nice. I'm like, no, Ghana. It's like, oh, Grenada, where did you get the R from? Huh? I said, Ghana, West Africa. Oh, you're African. You don't look African. What does an African look like? Huh? I don't know. Anyway, all I know is Ghanaians are beautiful people, and I'm so proud to be celebrating you all this evening. Now, I'm not going to go on, because I've got lots of little antidotes for you later on, but I am going to welcome someone to the stage. Someone who's been taking several pictures of beautiful Ghanaians over the years, over 6 decades. That's 60 years, right? Ish. And I even saw Uncle pull out his iPad this evening. I was like, yeah, Uncle, I'm in YA. You're trying, you're hard, you're doing well. May I please welcome Mr James Barnor, and can you give him a round of applause, please? Take a seat for me, please. I believe you're going to be giving us a little bit of a talk about your career, yeah? And all the fantastic things you've been doing. Can I just make sure that...
Congratulate the 30 under 30s who've been selected, and also the inauguration or the launching of the publication. But before that, we asked, what is my contribution? What about me? W-A-M. What about me? Who am I? What am I going to give? And I think that I have a lot to share with the youth. And I think that's why I have been invited to talk to the youth. So we start from Mr. Arnold.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I should introduce myself. My name is Arnold Sanford-Kantanga. I got told, so we're going to stand.
Yes.
So my name is Arnold Sanford-Kantanga. I'm the founder of Me Fri Ghana. I oversee quite a few things, but it's not about me today. It's about celebrating us all. And it's very pertinent that we hear from, I call him Granddad, Uncle James Barnor, because his contribution to Ghana, the archives, the pictures that he's taken. I've been going to see Uncle Barnor for, I don't know, about 3 weeks, and every time I leave I'm drained, because there's so much knowledge, information that he's sharing, and it's so important that I feel that we all get to experience that here today. So to introduce a gentleman, seriously a gentleman of this stature, he's lovely. I didn't know how to put it into words. So we're just going to talk through some of the pictures, and hopefully James will be able to articulate part of his journey since 1920. Well, it's been a long time. 60 years of taking photos. But Uncle, I'm going to start with this picture that we see on the screens now. Where is this and what is actually going on?
This is Jamestown. The lighthouse is a vantage point in Accra. I opened the studio just 2 or 3 houses next on the right, and that was when I took this picture. That was around 1953.
Who is the young man that's coming towards the camera?
That's my first son, and he was coming towards me, you know. Right. Today he's got grandchildren. Yes, today he's got grandchildren. This is one of my favorite pictures. I don't know how many of us have seen a picture like this before, especially with the uniform. Can anybody guess what uniform is this? Because when I see this, I feel like crying when I see a picture like this, which I took 1949 when I first started in my mother's house or my aunt's room. That was when I took this, and I used to hang the backdrop outside. At the moment, that place has been made into a street going to Timber Market. That place is now a street. I couldn't do this anymore there, but this was taken 1949. But the uniform was a railway guard's uniform. Ghana did have railways before, and it worked. And even if you see the dressing of the guards, who inspected the tickets on the train, you can see that at that time, there was something that was called Gold Coast then. One of them was a friend, and he brought his friend to my studio to take a picture. And I think, or I expect that what we are starting today here will bring will bring railways back to Ghana. What we are starting now will bring railways back to Ghana. Now, this is one of my mentors, Dr. Dankwa, J.B. Dankwa, who actually insisted on bringing Dr. Kwame Nkrumah from England to Ghana to be the secretary of his party.
Uncle James, I don't want to get into that because you're talking about him like everyone knows who he is. Can you just explain Mr. Dankwa a bit more about his position and why he's so influential, please?
Influential to me because unfortunately, the reason why I bring him are twofold. To bring who Dr. Dankwa is, and also to show that while I was working, I wasn't politically aligned. I didn't show my political standing. So I was able to take a picture of Dr. Dankwa, and I was able to take a picture of Kwame Nkrumah in his house. And I was able to take a photograph of Nana Ofuriata, also, both in his house as well as at the assembly.
I think the picture's there on the screen, isn't it? One of you in his house. Can anyone spot James in the picture?
When I had black hair. That's Nkrumah Roy Ankra, who won the Commonwealth featherweight title from Ronnie Clayton. In 1951, after his championship, he came to Ghana to have holiday. And I was photographing a series of him for Drum Magazine. Anybody knows Drum Magazine? I did work for them.
So you were just casually chilling with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah?
Yes, I was doing it for Roy, and Kwame Nkrumah sent his driver to come and invite him to come and see me. So I asked the driver to pick me from my little studio when it was ready. He was ready, so he did. And we spent about 1 hour, the four of us, Nkrumah, Roy Ankra, his wife, and I. The driver left us. We were together for 1 hour. But 1953, I opened this studio in Jamestown.
How old were you in 1953, sir?
24.
24 years old, you had your own photo studio.
Yes. I was born in 1929. And fortunately or unfortunately, it was easy for me to calculate the 999s. That 1929, things happened. But 1939, we had an earthquake in Accra, which not many remember. Earthquake, which caused the...
Does anyone remember the earthquake?
Estates to be built at Polygono and Kanishin. All the buildings were a result of the earthquake that happened in Accra. Also, later on in the year, we had the start of the Second World War. So I was through, I was 10 when the Second World War came. And then I went into photography in 1947 and finished 49 and came over here. I worked for 10 years in this studio and came over 59. So there's a lot of 10 nines, 9 nines. Now, this was the Duchess of Kent who represented the Queen during our independence. And that's the Governor General and the Government Chair and the Duchess of Kent being I shown down is one of the pictures that, you know.
And this was during independence, was it?
During the independence, I had an assignment from an agency here to represent them to take pictures. So I acted as if I was an overseas representative. But with our standard at the time and lack of facilities, I couldn't make enough money to build a house. That's a picture of this was the 6th of March itself, a picture of the East African Kenyan delegation going into the assembly or to the parliament. You know, they were going, I took this from the back.
So I'm just going to interject there, but does everyone see the swag that's going on here in this picture? This is how East Africans were rolling in to see Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The leopard skin, the hats, they were not messing around. Like, you don't need to be shy of our culture. You need to, let's take it. I'm not going to take it, but I think we should take it. And what's going on in this picture, sir?
This is a CPP dance at what we call Roja Club. During the Gold Coast days, we had a white European club where the British people met, and we had Roja Club where the Ghanaians or the black people also had their parties. This was after self-government and I think independence, when this was a party, and there was a competition, dance competition, and that lady in black won.
Were you a dance partner?
No, unfortunately I didn't invite her partner, but I invited her and Nkrumah and Kestil.
I think we should go to the next picture.
Yeah.
That's a memorable picture. When I first came here, we came on a boat. It took about 12 days to 2 weeks to come from Lagos, Accra, Sierra Leone, Gambia to pick.
I just want a moment of silence. Did you hear what Uncle James said? Came by
2 weeks.
boats.
Yes.
Not plane, boats. And how much was the ticket, sir? About £48?
No, 43 something, 43, but not 45, under 40. And you get it from the Dempsey lines. And the boat will start from Lagos and pick the people from Lagos, Nigeria, and then come to Ghana, pick those who are going, and then we go to Sierra Leone, and so on. And so we are represented there. There are, I think, three from Ghana. 1, 2, 3 from Ghana, about 4 or 5 from Lagos. We pick somebody from, there's another girl, but she's not in. When at Takrady, when we boarded, her parents more or less asked me to take care of her, but I never saw her. She's not here. So that's when we were about to alight to get out from the boat. It was, I think, on the 1st of, we arrived on the 1st of December 1959. And, that's another thing. Now we've got Honorable Sir Asafo-Adjei. This is a memorable picture because that was the day that Ghana became a republic.
Who is Honorable Asafo-Adjei?
He was then the High Commissioner or Ambassador. He was the ambassador, but then he had to go back to the Queen and present a fresh set of credentials. And the chariot came and picked him, took him and brought him again. This was when he was he was coming back, right? I took a lot in color.
Okay, and what year was this picture taken, please?
I think 61. This was taken in 61.
So, Uncle James, how old are you again, please? 85 years old, and Uncle James remembers every detail, the time, the dates. He had my brother on Facebook the other day. It's really serious, but well, what's actually going on in this picture? Please break it down, sir.
Then again, I had black hair. This was when I first came to England. It was to try my luck or to see what I could get to improve my knowledge of photography. Not necessarily to make money, but to improve and then go back. I studied photography by apprenticeship. There was no photographic institutions in Africa teaching photography. You have to go to a practicing photographer to study, and that's what I did. I was lucky to get 2 people to teach me the journalistic side as well as the studio side. So I went there and worked for 10 years before I came to England. And luckily, I had a grant from the Cocoa Marketing Board to go to school. So this was, I think, my last year. And the principal of the college in Rochester, he was a member of the Rotary Club in the Medway. And they were doing something. So he asked me to arrange students from various countries with various departments and have a meeting and lunch with the Rotarians. And this was what I was doing, I did at that time. And we were asked questions. So when we met, my question was, you are studying photography here in England at the Medway College of Art. How are you going to use it when you go back to your country, Ghana? And this was my answer. Only there was no video there to record what I said. But the basis of what I said was, I will be portraying my country from the eyes of a countryman, as a Ghanaian, not a European or Englishman who will come for 2 weeks, 3 weeks and produce a book. But I, as a Ghanaian, I'll do it. That was my idea. Anyway, that's a long story, but this is when Ghana had an airways. I talked about when Ghana had a railways which transported food, timber, gold, manganese, and all other things from the hinterland to the harbour or to Accra. And now we had an airway that after I came with the boats, now we had an airway to go up and down. But today it's lost. Now,
I just want to ask anyone, do you know this next picture, can you tell where it was taken? Piccadilly Circus, anyone from anyone, anything else? Any other suggestions? Square.
yes.
Uncle James, do you want to explain who's in the picture and with your...
I was asked by Brown to do a feature on Mike Egan. I think that time I didn't know him. So I was told he was at the BBC, so I went there and met him and introduced myself and took a few pictures, but I said no. A person like that should be taken outside, not BBC office or behind the mic.
Showing
I did a few
skills
there.
already. Showing your creative skills.
So we went to Trafalgar Square, and I took a few, and I made him climb to the lion, as if he was getting the story from the lion's own mouth. And then a policeman tapped me from the shoulder and said, "We don't do this sort of thing here."
So James, you were a bit of a rebel then, growing up.
So I said, "All right, let's go," and we left and went to Piccadilly.
It wasn't just Ghanaians that you took pictures of. It was other influential people. Does anyone know who's in this picture here? Someone say James Brown. Muhammad Ali. Indeed.
Yes.
Where was this picture taken, sir? And can you just describe the
He
interaction?
was then training to fight Brian London. And there's a lady there who seems to, because she was then introduced to me to take some pictures of her for the cover of Drum. But when this assignment came, she was asked to go with me as sort of a reporter to interview him. And when she got there, she dressed, so like a real model, and she stole the show. She was being interviewed, and people were talking more than Muhammad Ali himself. But that's one of the pictures that, on my birthday a few months ago, I had a small exhibition, and I had about 12 to 20 pictures of Muhammad Ali. And people like that even, more than anything else. They say, who is this? Did you take it? Did you meet him? No, the question is, did you meet him? And I said, I took it. And there's a picture of me waiting with other reporters for him to come out of his hotel. After he's won the match at the tournament, we went to his hotel to photograph him and interview him. And while we were waiting, there's a picture of me. And then again, I was in tie, and my cameras were on the floor, and I had black hair. That was 1967. And this was when...
This one looks like you're in trouble, but what's really going on here? Can you describe this stuff?
I have to talk about myself. I don't normally say who I am. You can read it on Google or whatever. I didn't put it there. The High Commissioner, Ghana High Commissioner, put it there, started it. But I'm talking about myself because I have been described as the first journalist, photojournalist. But when I came 1959, 60, I got into color processing, and that was, unheard of. And luckily, I went into the first color processing laboratory in Britain. And it was there that somebody said, oh, go to school. So I applied at the Medbury College of Art and got it. But every holidays I went there to work. So I became a color printer, even in the 60s. So when they needed color, someone to establish color in Ghana, I heard of it, I applied, and they got me. And it seems the picture is going too fast. That picture was when I went to Leverkusen, where the headquarters of ACFA, to meet the people I'll be working with when I go to Ghana, and how I'll be ordering the materials and the machines and so on and so forth. But the advertisement was announcing me into Ghana as the one who was coming to start color. I'm saying this because why WAM, what about me? What contribution can I give to the group? Because if somebody thinks of me to ask me to be the patron, but why? Why is that? It's because I've got something with the youth, for my connection with the youth, and what I've done in Ghana with the youth. We can be talking about that story for the whole evening, so I'm not bringing that in at all. But I think during my youth, I was 30 in June 1959 and came here December 59. So I was 30 and a half. About that time, I had done a lot. And I've worked with the youth, and I've even trained some of them. Before I was a photographer, I was a teacher. So I had that connection with the youth. And if I'm working with or I'm connected with a group like the Future of Ghana or Me Fri Ghana, you may not believe it. I stayed here for 10 years, went to Ghana for another 24 years or so and came back. I've been back for more than, almost 20 years. I'm still using my Ghana passport.
That's why it's a patron, the Future of Ghana publication, still traveling with his Ghana passport.
Yes. And this is something that I found at the hospital, in a magazine in the hospital, and I took it home, scanned it, and took it back to the hospital again, so that nobody will say I've stolen the magazine. And it says, a civilization flourishes when people plant trees under which they will never sit. I think everybody will interpret it in his or her own way, literary or whatever. A civilization flourishes when people plant trees under which they will never sit. But I think God gave me the idea that this is giving service. Nobody knows when the timber that we are selling to make our country great. Nobody knows when they were planted, but they were planted. And if we don't plant any, then we are nobody. I don't know how to say it, but anything we invest in young people, anything we invest in people we don't know, anything we invest without taking it at susu, when you take it, you get reward back. It's a blessing, and that is something that I would like to leave with everybody. You can take it as you understand it, but I think that it's for service. You plant today, you don't say, oh, yeah, this person is going to go to university and come and look after me. If it's so, it will be automatic. But you don't say it like that, so that you are not disappointed. Thank you very much.
Ladies first. Oh, gentlemen, raised well. Fine boy, no pimples. Andrea, hi.
Sandra.
Oh, Sandra. Andrea's behind me.
Shall I take it?
Yeah, please take the mic.
Thank you. Evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Sensari. I'm the project manager for Future of Ghana. I pretty much do the day-to-day management oversight of the project and also the strategic planning. We have a lot of strategic meetings and sessions, and yeah, I pretty much oversee that.
As Kelly said, fine boy, no pimples. Ben Hanem Antwi, editor and director of communications of Me Fri Ghana, so I handle communications with media, our partners, etc. across the whole brand, not just Future of Ghana, but Me Fri Ghana as well.
Hi, I'm Samuel Mensah-Bonsu. I'm the creative director of Future of Ghana. I'm in charge of the branding and the visuals, everything you've seen in terms of the gold, the very empowering, striking gold you see, everything in terms of the branding of logo, that's all by me. I've also been in charge of photography and direction in terms of general art for the project. So yeah, thank you very much.
Hello, everybody who's seeing me today. My name is Andrea Amelie Oche. I am the youngest of the team. I am 17 years old. And since the name is Future of Ghana, I am the Future of Ghana. We all are the Future of Ghana. And young or old, we all create a legacy for Ghana. Ghana is going places, but it only takes us to make it go as far as we want it to. That's our mission. That's our country. Ghana.
Why did you do this to me? Come back to follow. This is Andrea, she's our intern, she's been working with us just thought it's so relevant to, you know, as James said, you know, it's about sowing seeds that you keep. Sowing seeds with trees. Everyone's got a quote. You know. We all get it. But that's what we're trying to do here. You know, and I think the team, they really undersold themselves. And they're not really trying to stand there and sell themselves, but what we really want to try and do is just let you know, look, we're here. We're trying to grow. We're trying to connect and make new partnerships. Sandra, day to day, she works for the mayor's office. You know, she does a lot of project management for them there. Can we move on? Yeah. Editor, like this whole publication was edited, majority by Ben and Antwi. And then there is Dr. Jermaine Barnor, who's here as well. You'll meet the whole team. There's a bit of an army behind us. Samuel Mensah Bonsu, very humble young man. He actually does graphic design work, branding, advertising for AKQA. So when I can't remember his name, who's going to score the goal for Germany? The World Cup. The winning goal for Germany, the World Cup. Cursor. Yeah. So you might have seen an image go on social media. That was designed by actual Samuel. Yeah, Samuel's, how old are you? 1923.
1923.
The way we, excuse me, but the way we all came together, it was just through a passion, a shared drive. And we just wanted to do something positive. We were just tired of talking. I guess everyone here is here for a reason, because we're tired of talking. But we just wanted to say, yeah, by the way, my name is Arnold, I'm founder of Me Fri Ghana, but that's irrelevant. But what I'm really trying to show is that we are a collective, we're all a collective, so really take this opportunity to network, get to know other people. The intellectual capital in this room is phenomenal. But what we're going to do now is just present to you why the future of Ghana. What is this all about?
Can I just interject there, Ben? Ben has emphasised networking. Arnold, Ben, sorry, it's you're in my bad books, that's why. I'll tell everyone why in a second. But Arnold has emphasised networking. Now, I know some of you ran off Facebook when you discovered your aunties and uncles on there. Yeah, stop it, they're all in my business. So you went over to Twitter. This evening, if you are on Twitter, the trend, the hashtag or the Twitter, Twitter trend is FOG launch, okay? So if you're tweeting, telling people where you are, informing them of what a fantastic evening this is and going to continue to be, make sure you put hashtag FOG launch. Ben keeps coming in my head because, as Arnold was saying, networking is so important. I am here today because I interviewed Ben and Joseph and Simon on my show at Bang Radio. I couldn't believe it when these guys came in. I was like, yeah, my brothers, they're coming in, it's lunchtime. Koyo, nothing. No plantain chips, no supermarket, no nothing.
I need to defend myself.
Okay, defend yourself.
Let me set the scene. So it was Sunday.
It was.
Claire has a show on Bang Radio on Sunday, Conversation with Claire Clothy. Great show. But all the shops were closed. We searched for plantain, we searched for plantain chips, but...
Okay, let me walk up and down. Let me make sure people can you see my face? Okay.
I will try.
Arnold, over to you.
Yeah, so we're just going to now introduce the future of Ghana and just show what kind of a dream we had regarding where we foresee Ghana and why we foresee Ghana as a first world, self-sustaining country one day. So the presentation will be done by Sandra Say and Ben Animantry.
Thank you. About the future of Ghana. The future of Ghana has been birthed out of a shared passion and conviction to see Ghana advance and to see Africa advance ultimately. The project has brought together 5 distinct and quite dissimilar individuals. You should see us in meetings. We are like, yeah, Alan Sugars. But yeah, I mean, it's brought about 5 individuals who have expressed a desire to see Ghana grow, to see Ghana's potential reached. And as you can see all around you, everybody else seems to have that same vision and that same passion. That's why we're all here. Responsibility for all of us. Responsibility is what we say amongst ourselves every day. We text each other, hashtag responsibility. We say in our meetings, responsibility, responsibility, responsibility. It's a reminder. I wake up thinking, it's my responsibility. I've been given an opportunity and it's my responsibility to give back. It's not going to develop on its own. The country will not sustain on its own. One thing we do know about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is that he was constantly inspired and he pursued his purpose accordingly. He travelled to the West, he travelled to America, he travelled to Europe, and he was inspired by what was happening in the West. He was inspired, his inspiration brought about drive, innovation and self-sufficiency in Ghana. That's what he wanted to see. And this drive and inspiration needs to return to Ghana. Young people need to be inspired in Ghana and outside of Ghana to use their skills, to use their experience, their leadership to ensure excellence is at the core of the nation. Future of Ghana aims to mobilise such individuals. We want to give them a platform and for them to empower people. Future of Ghana aims to create a network of pioneers that are ready to represent Ghana's development and create a new identity. Kwame Nkrumah was all about creating a new identity for Africa, a new personality. This identity is of excellence, it's of self-sufficiency. Today, we are making history in this very room, and now it is the time for the future of Ghana.